Hey everyone, it's me, Queen Bee Mill, coming to you live from the hive. And again, I'm in the kitchen and I'm going to show you how to make an easy pecan pie. It's not my favorite because it tends to be sweeter than I like. I like sweets, but pecan pie has a lot of sweet. And when I talk to you about the ingredients, you'll understand where it gets its sweetness from. So what I've done to start is I've taken a cup of sugar and a cup and a half of corn syrup. Now you can use all light corn syrup or make a combination of light and dark corn syrup. I don't keep corn syrup in my pantry, so I just happen to have some light corn syrup from another recipe. So I'm going to take that and add it to the 4 beaten eggs. I've already cracked them, beaten them up to mix them up a little bit, and I'm going to add that corn syrup mixture and sugar to the 4 eggs that are beaten. Here we go. You want to let it cool a little bit because you don't want it to go in and start cooking the eggs. So it's been sitting for 2 to 3 minutes after it was completely melted. You bring it to like a little simmer so that you know that it's all dissolved. Pour it slowly into your eggs. Again, hot syrup into raw eggs would cause a little bit of cooking to happen, but if you do it slower, it won't create such a quick cooking process. So now I've got the sugar and the corn syrup into my egg beaten, and now I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of butter. I cut it up, but the butter will melt when you're mixing it in with this mixture, so don't be worried about that. So we add that butter. The corn syrup is warm, so it will melt. Just breaking it up a little bit to make sure. And then once we've added the butter, we can start to add the rest of the ingredients. The rest, it's really simple. We have vanilla. I'm going to do 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. So we've got the vanilla, and then 1.5 cups of coarsely broken pecans. I don't put them in the chopper because it makes too much pecan, crumbles, too small. So while this sauce was cooking, while the syrup and the sugar were cooking down and melting, I just took my pecans and just broke them up coarsely into a bowl. So I'm gonna mix that in. So simple. It seems like such a complicated pie, but it really isn't when you start making them. Like I said, I love desserts. I like a little dessert at the end of dinner, but I'm not a fan of, sitting down and having 10 pieces of chocolate. I'm not into sweets that much anymore. As I've gotten older, my cravings for sweets went down, but my need for salt went up. So it's kind of funny how that happens. I do remember a time where I needed both, but now as I've gotten older, I don't crave the sweets as much as I do the salt. So, okay, so the butter is pretty much broken up. It's not going to be a problem if there's little bits left because that will melt and mix in as it's baking. And again, I'm not great at making pie crust. Maybe one day I'll learn. I mean, there's always that possibility. I'm learning all the time. But I do have a pre-made 9-inch deep pie shell, and I'm going to just pour my mixture into it. What I always found fascinating about pecan pie is how when you take it out, it's like all the pecans are sitting up at the top. Those little white spots you see are they're the pieces of butter, but they're just gonna melt on the top and they're gonna actually cause that pecan topping to get more crispy. I'm gonna put them on top of a baking sheet because if it does bubble over, I don't like to have melted sugar in my oven. You smell that forever. Even though I have a mat at the bottom to catch any drippings, sometimes when you get sugar melted in your oven, every time you use your oven, you smell that burnt sugar smell. So I'm going to put it in the oven for 40 to 60 minutes at 350 degrees, and I will come back when it's ready. Let me carefully put it in there. I always position my racks when I'm baking in the middle and try not to bake too many things at once, because you don't want it to hog up all of the heat. So there it is. I'm setting my timer. I'm going to start checking it at around 45 minutes. And then if it needs a little bit more time, it can go up to 60 minutes. Every oven varies, so I will come back and show you when it's all done. Okay, everyone, it's time to take the pie out. I'm so excited. It is done. Oh, wow. It will set, but if you take a good look at it, it looks perfect. So I'm glad that I put it on the tray because the sugar did spill over a bit. Let me bring it in so you can see it. Oh, so good. I just think it's amazing how the pecans all come to the top and it gets nice and crispy on top. And actually, even though this isn't one of my favorites, I am looking forward to having a slice of this with some vanilla ice cream. The last time I was looking forward to pecan pie was when I was down south and I went to Paula Dean's restaurant. I had to have her pie. So I'm sure this one isn't as good as Paula Dean's, but I'm thinking it's going to be pretty good. Thanks for watching.